Alright guys, what's going on? Got the week 4 recap. Already 4 weeks into the season, heading on week 5. Pretty crazy. So, let's get into the standings later. I'm not going to go into any particular order. I am just going to go through the games. So, let's just go with mine right here. I'm looking at the trash talk. Give me a sec. Okay. So, this was a heartbreaker. I was up 78.8 to 63 going into Monday night. So I was up essentially, I would give or take 16 points. So he had Diggs and Kyle Rudolph last night, and he got, let's see, 16.1, I believe, out of them. So he won by 0.3, and to make this even crazier, I was up by 0.5 with 3 minutes left to go in the fourth. It was like 3rd and 10. Minnesota was up by like 2 scores. And all they wanted to do was keep the clock running. So I thought they were either going to run. I thought they were just going to run. But they did a quick screen pass to Diggs, which got them 8 yards. And that put him above. He got 0.8. So it's kind of funny because if it was last year's rules with just the if there was no decimals, if it was just like 1 point per 10 yards, I'm not sure if SN would have won, but it's hard. It's almost impossible to calculate that because all of the other decimal points. But like, it's kind of interesting how much just the decimal points just changed the outcome of the games. So if I started Matt Ryan against Carolina, I would obviously would have won. But I thought going into the game, I still thought Carolina's defense was still good. Palmer just was absolutely atrocious. He's getting dropped. I'm just letting everyone know right now, and everyone else on my team, and then my kicker screwed me as well. I mean, every single week, I cannot pick a good kicker, man. The kicker always kills me. Next game, because I'm going to get frustrated, and yeah, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. We have Amon and AK, so this is kind of a big game for both teams. AK was 2-1, and Amon was 1-2, so they're both trying to, separate each other from each other, I guess. AJ Green, crazy good game, 23 points. Isaiah Crowell, I believe AK picked him up. I believe he picked him up. And he's been absolutely astounding for AK. He's the 5th ranked running back. A very good pickup by him. And the 2 Denver wide receivers have been playing, I guess, above expectations with Simeon. And I guess a little bit of Paxton Lynch yesterday, but I think Simeon's going to be okay. I think he has like an AC sprain, so I think he should be back. I don't think it was that high of a grade. Gronkowski's killing him on. Hyde's been alright. Hyde's the 4th ranked running back. I mean, he's been better than Crowell. I mean, it's crazy. So that was a good matchup there. AK to 3-1, quietly at 3-1 after having Dez issues and Gurley, still 3-1. That's pretty impressive. So this game, I thought George won for sure. Meng had I'm not sure what the exact score was, but I think he basically needed a hero performance at a Big Ben to come back in the game. And that's exactly what he got. He got a hero performance. He had 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, that's what won him the game. I believe going into that Sunday night game against Kansas City, George was up by I'm guessing I'm trying to figure this out. So he had Kelsey. So that gave him some points that game. So it looked honestly. I can't give you the exact what it was, but I know during the Kansas City game. I think I even declared George a absolute winner, and I guess I jinxed him. So we have Mosen and the God Squad. Dre. So Dre started off 2-0, and then Mosen started off 0-2, and now both are even after 4 weeks. That's why I'd never give up after 2 weeks. Like Mosen was, I think, about to do. He's about to sell his entire team. But Allen Robinson's come back strong, I would say, after those first 2 bad performances. Zeke, very good over the past. I mean, he's been consistent. I mean, he's been getting over a 10 each game. That's all you can really ask. Marvin Jones, even though he kind of had what you would think a down day, still had 7 points. So Mosen seems pretty scary, especially if Fleener can start getting, I don't know, I guess get better. Because when I'm watching the Saints, I don't think Fleener's that good. He drops a lot of passes and stuff. But I mean, if he starts getting a better rapport with Breeze, I think that could be a scary team. And Dre just had bad luck. He had 94 points. That would have been a lot. That'd been enough to beat a lot of teams this week. Right now, the current winner of the Gordon Miller trade is Dre. No doubt about it. I mean, he's not really doing that well, but he's scoring touchdowns and he's second-ranked running back. So, good trade by him so far. I mean, Miller's been okay. He benched Fuller, I guess. If he maybe started him over, I guess any of his wide receivers, he would have won. But it would have been kind of hard to do that. Devonta Freeman. Dre's got a deep team. So does Mosen. He had Rodgers on a bye. His Crabtree is Graham and Matt Jones, who had all big games for him on the bench. Both good teams here, and both deep teams. So that was probably the game. Other than this game, I guess up top, I guess this was the game of the week. Not good news for Yates. He's 0-4. He made that Beckham trade made sense for him. I am not gonna rip him for that at all. It just hasn't worked out. He's basically, Antonio Brown did have 18 points, but like I said, if one of these 2 guys has a bad game, he's in trouble. Benjamin has not been doing nearly as well since his first 2 games. Gunn wins with 81 points, with Hopkins getting a .4, and getting -1 on his kicker, and just kind of getting pedestrian performance out of everyone else except for Le'Veon, and Kirk Cousins had a good day. I mean, any quarterback other than Palmer, essentially. I guess Eli Manning, I guess he didn't do well as well. But not a good day, not a good year for Yates. He can still bounce back. Look, we still have 9 weeks left in the season, so he's just got to get on a little bit of a run. Should be okay. So let's go look at the standings. I'm going to go check the time really quickly. 8 minutes, we're okay. So first, overall, that is SN. He's using Meng's name. Second is AK, with Gurley and Dez not doing the best. I mean, Gurley's kind of bounced back a little bit, but Dez has almost been a disaster so far. My team is third after that close loss. I would have been 4-0. Meng's team, the actual Godzilla Biscuits, in fourth. And then you got Mosen and Dre and Gunn, 2-2 here. And George, who's had bad luck in the entire season. And then Mon, and then you got Yates. So honestly, what was I going to say? My team is not scoring that much the past 2 weeks. It's killing me. It's obviously early to be looking at the overall scoring, but look at that. George is the #1 scoring team in the league. And he is 1-3. Unbelievable. What was I going to say? A lot of parity in our league this year. I'm very happy that there isn't really a super team this year. I feel like all 10 teams really are matched up well against each other so far. I believe because there hasn't been that many injuries, so to absolute star players. So I think that's why. Once we start getting more injuries, I believe that might shift a little bit. But there's no team like SN's team last year, which was an absolute super team, which is a good thing. I mean, Yates is 0-4, but he's essentially been in every game that he's played in. I don't think he ever got really blown out. Same with George, who's just had bad luck. Amon is basically hit or miss with his team sometime. I think he scored 40 one week when and then he scored like I think 120. So his team's more a hit and miss. But parity, man, that's good. Every team has a chance against everybody. That's exactly what we want. So we got some good games this week, starting with a 3-3 or 3-1. So I can't talk. Two teams that are tied for essentially first place right now with me and AK. It's going to be a big game for both of us. I need to bounce back. Got SN and Dre going up against each other. That's a good game as well. George and Mosin. George definitely probably needs this game. And Mosin, I believe he said some of his players on a bye. So who knows? Mang and Yates, good game. And then you got Gunn and Amon. So I think obviously we're getting buys starting to happen. I think the Saints are on a bye. I'm not sure who else. Make sure you get your waiver claims in. I'm trying to think of anything else to say. Eventually, I would say midway through the year, I'm going to do some sort of draft recap just to see what the good and bad picks were. You can't really do it right now because it's kind of early, but it's probably going to be like right here, the first round. Everyone's basically had a good year except for Peterson, so I don't want to get into it right now. So that's it, guys. That's the Week 4 recap. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure you get your waiver claims in. This should be an interesting week of waiver claims and everything else like that. So have a good day, guys.